Hello, everyone. Thank you for checking out today's episode of Hardball Sports Talk, brought to you by Hardball Sports Media. My name is Brandon, and we're joined, like always, by my friend Alex. Alex, how are you today?
I'm a little under the weather right now. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that is going around right now, and with this Christmas season here, um, both of our jobs are travel related, so we're both pretty just worn out with traffic, and he's a delivery guy, so he's more worn out with that just because everyone's ordering stuff off Amazon right now. So we're going to try to keep things a little bit lighter today. There's still some sports stuff going on we want to talk about, but we figured 1 week to Christmas, let's do a Christmas episode today. So we got in our Christmas spirit of wearing Boise State Broncos and New York Mets and not Ducks jerseys today. So you're welcome. But exciting news, though. We are on Twitch now. So we're streaming live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So be sure to be on the lookout for all of those. Podcast is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Look us up on Hardball Sports Talk. It's some great content we got going on for you guys. It's just two fun-loving guys who love sports and love to goof around. You can't beat that. But without further ado, let's get started today because, like I said, we're both not feeling the greatest today. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to do our Christmas movie rankings. Before we get started on this, I don't know how many people are actually going to see these rankings because a lot of our listeners and viewers are on the Spotify Apple Podcast side of things. But I do have a PowerPoint presentation here for our rankings. I did editing and stuff like that. Apparently, though, Christmas with the Cranks, when you type in Cranks, it auto-corrects to Franks.
Nice.
Yeah, and I didn't notice that until after I had everything saved and transported onto here. So there's a couple typos that I recognize, one of them being the Christmas with the Franks. There's a spoiler alert for at least one of our top 10. And then another thing is we both got our wives in on this. So Kelsey is my wife, Abby is his wife. So that is who the other people are. So let's get started on these Christmas rankings. At number 10, I have The Nightmare Before Christmas. Alex has Die Hard. Kelsey has It's a Wonderful Life. And Abby has A Christmas Story. Pretty basic Christmas movies there. Nothing too crazy, I wouldn't say. Die Hard being a Christmas movie is one of those age-old debates, which I didn't realize you were going to have Die Hard, so I was going to have that conversation, but you answered that question for me. Do you consider it a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Obviously, it's on my Christmas list.
Yeah, obviously. Mine, so The Nightmare Before Christmas, it's like that Halloween/Christmas movie. I had a friend, well, we're still friends, but now that I'm married, things are a little bit different. But every Thanksgiving, we'd get together and watch it with their family. It's one of my favorite Thanksgiving traditions of all time was watching Nightmare with this family. But again, now that I'm married, that's not a thing right now. I love that movie though; it's a great movie. And then The Girls with a Wonderful Life and Christmas Story, both classic right there.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get started, the one thing I want to say is we all don't have the same movies. Now there's gonna be a couple slides where it's gonna be repeats, but there's like the next slide, for example. My wife has a movie that I don't think any of us have heard of before.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and then so there was a couple on everybody's list though that was like that.
Right.
No, I was in a number. I was number 8 maybe. But anyways, my number 9 is Charlie Brown Christmas. Yours is Christmas Story. Kelsey is the Santa Claus. Abby is Miracle on 34th Street.
Your wife has it. Your wife has Santa Claus as her number 9 movie.
Listen, she has a couple of movies that I've absolutely never heard of before in her top.
Yeah.
I think the next one is number 8, where the first one is like, what are you talking about with this movie? Like, I've never heard of it.
Goodness. All right.
I think it was number 8. No, yeah. But I think I have Santa Claus on my list too, but I don't know I can't remember how high it is. I know there's a couple that I probably had a little bit too low. Number 8. Nope, it wasn't number 8. I don't know where it was. I have How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version. You have I'll Be Home for Christmas. Kelsey has the Charlie Brown Christmas, and your wife has Noel. Again, no surprises here. I've actually never seen Noel. I've never even heard of Noel, actually, but
It came out a couple of years ago. It's on Disney Plus. It's a pretty funny movie. Not in my top 10, but my wife likes it, so I don't mind it either.
yeah. Number 7, I have Home Alone. You and Abby both have Home Alone 2, and Kelsey has Christmas with the Franks.
I love it.
Again, typo, or not typo, but autocorrect. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
But it's actually called Christmas with the Cranks.
I don't know. I kind of like Christmas with the Franks better.
Yeah, it's great.
It
There's a
is.
second. There's a second time this movie makes it on the list, and I butchered the spelling of Christmas. And it was after I already transported it over here, so I couldn't change it. It was pretty great. Again, nothing too shocking here. Home Alone, absolute great Christmas movies. Home Alone 2, same boat. I've kind of put them I put them both in the same category. Home Alone 2. I should have written it down like that, but they're just both great movies.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, once you get rid of Macaulay Culkin, then the Home Alone franchise goes away.
Yeah.
If you ask me,
I had to tell Abby too that they're each different movies, as in it's not like the franchise is in your top
yeah,
rating. It's the movie itself.
yeah. So I just went with Home Alone just because I couldn't pick between the two, and I had
Yeah.
other movies I wanted to get on the list. So
Yeah. Yeah.
number 6, this is one of Kelsey's that. What are you talking about? What is this called? Mine is A Christmas Story. Both you and Abby have Santa Claus 2, and Kelsey's is Comfort and Joy. Never heard of it. Don't know anything about it. So
Let me guess. It's a Hallmark movie.
it says Lifetime on the cover.
Oh,
So
well,
it's
okay.
the same thing.
Thing. Yeah. Not surprised.
So speaking of Hallmark movies, we were down at our grandparents' house over the weekend. We for you guys listening, Alex and I live about 6 hours apart from each other. He lives about 15 minutes from my wife's grandparents, though. So we were going to try to get you guys an episode on Saturday, but schedules just didn't work out. Sorry about that. But anyways, I had my laptop on me and I was watching the Lions game on Saturday, and they all have a Hallmark movie going on, but I'm also in a room with basically my entire extended or my wife's entire family. So I can't just have headphones on and listen to the game. So I have to because we're in the living room, so I can't be rude.
Right.
So I'm watching the game, and I'd go like this, like anytime something good happened, and everyone's like, "Brandon, do you have a question or anything?" I go, "No, I'm celebrating, but I can't scream because you guys are watching a movie right now."
Just giving yourself you should just give yourself self high fives, man. That'd been
Yeah.
hilarious.
Actually, what I ended up doing was I just reached over. Kelsey was sitting next to me. I'd go like this and like high five, and she'd give me high fives. So
Oh, hey. All right.
yeah, we're doing great.
That's good.
At number 5, we both have Elf. Kelsey with another one of the orders I've never heard of, While You Were Sleeping. Abby with Home Alone. I don't really know if this is a Hallmark movie or not.
I'm going to say it is. If I haven't heard of it and it's considered a Christmas movie, it's probably Hallmark or Lifetime, let's be honest.
We did just get a comment, though, on Facebook. I'm guessing this is about the
Comfort and Love.
Comfort and Joy.
Sorry.
My sister who commented on Facebook said it's a good film. So therefore, that just confirms it's a Hallmark movie.
Yep.
Number 4, we got me with Santa Claus, you with Home Alone, Kelsey, Miracle on 31st Street, Abby with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and I didn't ask you this, but I'm assuming it's the Jim Carrey one.
Yeah. What? I see another spelling error, and you even said it out loud.
Santa Claus, Home Alone, Miracle on 31st. What did I say?
Look at your wife there, 31st, and then look at the poster you put. It's
34th. Nice. Yeah, well, that's the type of day it was.
Yeah, and hey, I don't blame you. I understand.
So it's Miracle on 34th Street. I don't know if I did that. I think it's coming up here again. I don't know if I did it again, so if I did, I'm sorry. But it's Miracle on 34th Street, not 31st.
Don't worry, I'll call you out on it.
I mean, the miracle could have happened 3 streets down. You never know.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, that's fair.
Here's another one of those typos, though. Christmas, not Chris Ass with the Franks. Christmas with the Franks. Next, we got a Youth the Grinch. And we'll get to that comment in a second. We got Kelsey with the Muppets Christmas Carol, Abby with Elf. And this comment that we here, let's see if I can show it. While you were sleeping, you need to expand your movie experience. It's another great film. I'm guessing. I mean, we just assume it's Hallmark. Okay, so
Yeah, yeah,
it's so at number 2. This is kind of like an odd one by me, but I liked the TNT version of the Christmas Carol with Patrick Stewart. I just have a lot of memories watching it every Christmas season. Both you and Abby have the Santa Claus, and Kelsey has the Snowman, which is the one that I thought was like way lower on the list, but it's actually number 2. When you guys sent me your list, you guys sent it to me at from 10 to 1. She sent hers from 1 to
yeah.
10. So that's why I was thinking it was
Oh,
like 9 or 8 because that's where it was on the rest of them.
yeah.
Um,
Is the snowman like a knockoff of Frosty?
I don't know. It's from like the 80s.
Frosty's way older than
Yeah,
that.
I know. So I don't really know if it kind of looks like it, but at the same time, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
But that's.
Eh,
I guess we'll have to watch it someday.
I guess
And
so.
then my number 1 is Muppets Christmas Carol because I'm a giant child and I love Muppets. And then you and Abby have Vacation, and Kelsey has A Christmas Story, and I knew that was her favorite movie before I even asked her any of this.
Yeah.
Um,
I will
so
say a couple honorable mentions. One was Christmas Carol with the Muppets Christmas Carol. That's also a great movie. Christmas with the Cranks. One recently that I kind of totally forgot about and watched it again is Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn.
have I ever told you my story with Fred Claus?
No. Story time with Brandon. Here we go.
Story time with Brandon. I went to watch this movie in theaters with another friend, and we sat down and they started playing a movie. And this movie started playing, and this older guy is in this room, and he's basically having brain surgery done. And I looked at my friend and I go, either we're in the wrong theater or Santa's having some serious surgery right now. I don't remember what Saw movie it was, but whatever Saw movie was out at that time is what was playing.
So you guys didn't even look up above the door that.
No, we were in the right room. They started playing the wrong movie.
Oh, so the movie theater played that. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
They started whatever Saw movie was out at that time. They started playing that Saw movie.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, Fred Claus, that's a good one. I didn't put Vacation in my top 10, but that's a classic. And then I know, but there's so many. Like
I know. It was tough to do. Just 10 of them.
Yeah. And then one that I really wanted to put in, but I just couldn't because there's just so many other ones that just I couldn't put over it. But Krampus, it's like a horror movie.
Yeah.
I watched that one with some friends, and his sister was absolutely freaking out. So it might be more of just a memory of watching some girl scream. Yeah. But I absolutely loved that movie. Just again, it was probably the experience of watching people scream though over really stupid, scary stuff.
Right. Another movie that probably not many people, it's probably in the Die Hard category, is Daddy's Home 2. Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
Oh, it's got Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg in it, and they get trapped in a movie theater during like the snowstorm or whatever. And excuse me, sorry, I should mute myself when I do that. Anyways, I recommend watching at least the end of it. I think it's towards the end of the movie. It's pretty funny. Will Ferrell breaks out, starts singing, gets the whole crowd singing, makes a Christmas party out of it.
Let me see if I can find my list here, because I had a list of my movies here. A couple other movies I had that didn't make the list were. That might be it, actually. Well, for kicks and giggles, I wanted to put a Disney Channel original movie on here. But again, just because the one I was going to go with was The Ultimate Christmas Gift, or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
With John Sally.
Yeah.
As an elf.
That's a great one.
Yeah. That was the one I was going to go with, but I'm like, if I already have Christmas vacation out of this list. How can I justify not having Christmas vacation, for example, and have the ultimate
Mhm.
Christmas present? So
Yeah. I would've made fun of you for that.
yeah, I really wanted to, but I just couldn't. But
A few other ones that I also enjoy watching. The really old ones, Rudolph, because
yep,
you can't forget about Yukon Cornelius saving the day.
nope, nope,
I think The Year Without a Santa Claus with the Miser Brothers was always my favorite, and then, one that kinda goes along with it is Santa Claus is Coming to Town, basically how
yeah,
Santa became Santa with the abominable no, it's Mr. Warlock, I think.
yeah. They had a lot of those like that.
But those
Like
are those are, like, half hour they're more
yeah,
like long TV shows
that's
than
why I didn't
movies.
really. I mean, I
And that's
wanted
why
to put
yeah, I didn't add those either. That's why I had them as honorable mentions.
yeah. And then on our Facebook page, if you haven't liked that, go ahead and search us up on Facebook, facebook.com/hardball sports. We had a few comments here. I basically posted, what are you guys' favorite Christmas movies? Next time I do something like this, though, I'm going to do it as a poll, I think, and then we'll rank the polls. But the ones that were commented, we got Home Alone, The Polar Express, It's a Wonderful Life, Home Alone, Elf, Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, Die Hard, Fred Claus, Christmas Story, Jim Carrey's Grinch, It's a Wonderful Life, It's a Wonderful Life, and a Santa Claus, another Die Hard, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, and The Grinch. So The Grinch and Home Alone seem to be very popular movies among our followers. Like I said, though, if you're just joining us for the first time, thank you so much. Be sure to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/hardball sports. Moving on, though, this is the Sports Talk podcast after all. We do have fun with these rankings from time to time, but the reason we're mainly here is to talk football and sports. Today's basically a football episode, even though Dylan Larkin is back for the Red Wings playing right now. Last check, they were down 3-0 though, so we don't really want to talk about that because we don't have nice things to say right now, so we're just not going to talk about that. Actually, though, before we get moving on, I was on my route the other day, and I was chatting with this older lady at one of my stores. She's probably like 70 or so. She's going to the Red Wings game tonight. She's at the game right now. Uh, I haven't had that much of a hockey conversation with the customer in a long time. And this lady was like naming names, like I was talking to you. Like, I mean, it
Right.
was just a great time.
That's impressive.
Yeah, like she had opinions about all the players, and I'm like, I like you. Like, let's keep talking. Like, this is awesome. But anyways, moving on now. The big news of the weekend is Brandon Staley, after the collapse of the Chargers on Thursday Night Football, was fired. They announced a firing Friday afternoon. I'm guessing he got fired at halftime, and they just said, you know what, we can't just let you not come back out there. So just finish the game, and then you can just be done after that. That's kind of how that game went. To replace him, they went with Giff Smith, and also the Chargers fired their GM. This is one of those spots that we're going to say this about every coaching fired this year. By the way, this is where Ben Johnson is going. Him or Harbaugh, but like apparently I haven't seen anything official yet. But apparently Michigan's offering. You might know more about this, but apparently Michigan's trying to offer Harbaugh a 5-year extension. That is what I saw
Yeah.
last week. But they want basically a promise that he's not going to go to the NFL this year. So
Yeah, the local radios down here, they're talking as Michigan fans, you'll have a better I can't remember, it might have been Chris Ballas was the guy from I believe he was from Wolverines.com. He was saying if you're a Michigan fan, you better hope that Michigan gets this done before Christmas, because after Christmas, he was saying is a chance he might be going to the NFL. So if he signs before Christmas weekend, I guess which would be this weekend, um, And something about that too is in the verbiage of the contract would be he's not allowed to talk or communicate with the NFL for this year and maybe next year or something like that. But he was saying if they don't get him signed by Christmas, then Michigan fans should have a little worry to him that he's jumping to the NFL.
My gut tells me just because of this whole recruiting thing during COVID and now this sign stealing thing, which by the way,
Alleged sign stealing, please.
alleged sign stealing.
Thank you.
We're both Michigan fans, so take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. Everybody in the country does it. Those both of those things that Harbaugh has been accused of doing, I guarantee you, there's at least 15 other Power 5 schools doing the exact same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee it. Like, I would be shocked if Michigan's the only clean school, or the only dirty school, I should say. But there's no, like, here's what I think happened, and I probably said this on an episode before, but with this alleged sign stealing, what I'm guessing happened is Ohio State's people saw somebody, or a different Big Ten school, saw somebody from Michigan stealing signs. Hey, you can't do that. Well, you're doing the exact same thing, but like, well, we're not going to get caught though. You got caught.
Right.
Like, that's kind of what I feel happened.
Yeah.
Again, there's no proof of that, but like, that's just what I think happened. It's like your sibling goes to steal the cookie jar, and they see your hand in there, and they're like, "Hey, mom, Alex is in the cookie jar." But you didn't tell mom that you were on your way to steal the cookies when you saw Alex in the cookie jar. Like, that's basically what I think happened. But anyways, not moving on, but back to the Chargers. This is probably going to be, so far, it's the Chargers and the Raiders. I believe they're the only ones to fire the coach so far this year. I believe. I can't think of anybody else that's fired a coach. Can you?
I think you're right on that.
Yeah. So right now it's the Chargers and the Raiders. The Chargers out of those two teams is clearly the better option, just because you got Justin Herbert, you got some nice offensive weapons, you got the Bosa brother. He might be on a contract year, but still, he's there, so you can franchise tag him. So there are some nice pieces in the world of San Diego, or no, Los Angeles now. They're in Los Angeles. They keep saying San Diego with them. Same with Vegas. I always say Oakland with them too.
Brandon,
yeah.
Put $1 in the jar, and you know what I'm talking about.
Listen, I didn't say anything stupid or bad though.
It's debatable.
Okay, fine. I'll put $1 in the jar. For those of you who are like, what the heck are these morons talking about now? Back in, I don't even know what year the show is, but mid 2010s, there's a show on Fox called New Girl, and we liked the show. It's a great show. Don't judge us. But there's a jar that anytime any of them did something stupid, I will not say the name of this jar. You can look it up for yourself. But they would have to put $1 in this jar. And at this point of our lives, we lived in the same area, and we hung out all the time. And after the first week, we had enough money in this jar to order a pizza. Now, true. Granted, this was back when Pizza had a $10 pizza, so yeah, it's not as bad as it sounds.
There was more than $10 in that jar.
There probably had to have been, but we're trying to make ourselves sound better here. Anyways, back to the Chargers. So even if there's more firings, which there will be more firings each cycle, there's like 6 or 7 firings. This will probably be. Oh, and the Panthers. The Panthers fired Frank Reich, so there are 3.
Totally
forgot about that. Yeah, so did I. They won their second game, by the way, on Sunday.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah. Anyways, so this will probably be the most sought-after job, I would think. Yeah, you do have Bryce Young with the Panthers, but he hasn't really been impressive so far this year. And then, again, with Vegas, there's really, like you had, like their rookie they got right now is playing pretty good, but there's just really no exciting pieces. I mean, you got Max Crosby, but there's really no big-time offensive player because Devontae is probably going to want to get traded. Mm-hmm. So as of right now, the Chargers are the spot to go. Moving on, though, another topic in the NFL. Steelers safety DeMonte Kazee, Kazee, is suspended for the rest of the year for his hit on uh, Colts wide
Antonio,
receiver.
not
I think
Antonio
it
Pittman. It's
was Michael
Pittman. Is
Pittman. Yeah,
Michael
Michael
Pittman. Yeah.
Pittman. He's suspended for the rest of the year on this hit. For this hit, and I didn't see the hit live, but I saw a video of it. Yeah, that was a vicious hit.
Yeah. No doubt about that.
That man has a family type of hit.
Mm.
Like, what are you doing? So I'm kind of shocked that he got the rest of the season, and if I read it right, it's also including playoff games if Pittsburgh makes the playoffs. So he's done. Now I'm sure that's gonna get appealed, and the Players Association is gonna do what the Players Association does.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he's a repeat offender. I've actually don't recognize his name, but he probably safeties are known for hitters, so
Yeah.
he probably is a repeat offender. But I mean, I'm all for a big hit and stuff like that, but that one was a little too far, and it's not even like the hit; it's where you hit him. Like,
Yeah.
you went for the head and neck area. Like,
Yeah. That's a big no-no.
that's a big no-no.
Nowadays.
What? Yeah. There was a time and a place for that, but the book and movie Concussion and League of Denial, that kind of like screwed the NFL over. Now they're pretending like they care about player safety. That's a conversation for a completely different day, though. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole today. Moving on, another football-related story here. Dylan Raiola, who's a quarterback, 5-star quarterback in high school right now. If that name sounds familiar to Lions fans, his dad was Dominic Raiola, the longtime center. I absolutely love that guy. Him and Jeff Backus in the early 2000s or mid to late 2000s on that offensive line. They were not all-star players. Anyways, Dylan, he was committed to Georgia. I believe at one point he was committed to Ohio State.
He was Ohio State, then committed to Georgia, then decommitted again.
Now he's going to Nebraska.
Yeah.
But in his 4 years of high school, he's gone to 4 different high schools. So
right,
this is on par for this young man. And I know there's different circumstances with high schools, whether it be your parents moved, divorce, whatever, losing job, whatever. I have no idea what his situation is, but I'm guessing his dad is probably doing okay financially. Yeah, he was a center, but he played in the NFL for quite a few years.
Yeah.
So unless if he got in some kind of Ponzi scheme or something like that. But anyways, Raiola going to Nebraska. That's a huge get for Nebraska. That's their first 5-star recruit, I believe, since 2006. That's what I saw.
Dang.
So this is a big win for Matt Rule and company. And also, his uncle is offensive line coach for Nebraska.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So there's family connections there. And he just, oddly enough, his uncle just got a nice payday raise, too. So
weird.
Yeah, weird how family connections work like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But Raiola going to Nebraska, that's a big get there for the Cornhuskers, like we said. Now, if he stays there or not, that's a totally different question. But the thing is, going to Nebraska, you're probably going to get playing time rather early on because the quarterbacks at Nebraska were atrocious this year. While at Georgia, they have Beck, who I believe I saw on the mothership today that he is coming back for another season. And then Georgia also has another highly touted recruit that, from what I've heard, they like more. There's coaches on the staff that like him more than Raiola. So Raiola was probably going to be 3rd or 4th on the pecking order for sure at Georgia, probably even lower. At Nebraska, you would imagine he's competing for the starting job at this spring.
Yeah.
And then our last piece of news for you guys today, sticking in college football, we got Kyle McCord, who was the quarterback for Ohio State. Sorry for the language there. We are Michigan fans after all, so we don't like saying those words. But anyways, he was the Buckeyes quarterback. He is now going to Syracuse, which is not Ohio State.
No.
And it's nowhere near Ohio State's level. So that's kind of shocking that you can. So Ohio State, again, I'm a Michigan fan, but their quarterbacks are usually some of the better quarterbacks in the country. No, they don't usually translate to the NFL, but college strictly, I mean, they've been really good at quarterback for a long time.
Yeah,
Kyle,
if I remember right, they've won their quarterback has won every Big Ten quarterback of the year dating back to 2005. I trying to remember when not Terrell Pryor, Troy Smith. I think he was early 2000s. Anyways, no QB has ever won outside of Ohio State since then. Other than JJ won it this year. First time since I don't remember how long that it wasn't an Ohio State quarterback. Like you said, the Ohio State quarterbacks are great in college.
yeah. So this is kind of a shocker to me, just because you go from basically the best school for quarterbacks in college football to Syracuse, who, no offense to the Orange, but they're not. They're nowhere near like they're a Power Five school, but they're not like one of
They
those.
were a basketball school.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a shocker. It's a good get for Syracuse, though. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, Kyle McCord wasn't the greatest quarterback on the planet, but like if you're starting at Ohio State, you're got some talent in college. And I know he wasn't up at the level of like the JJ Barrett's or the Terrell Pryors or CJ Strouds of the world, or Justin Fields was Georgia. No, he was at Ohio State. Well, he's
Yeah.
at both. He was at both, wasn't
Yeah.
he? I think he started at Georgia.
He never really played at Georgia. There was
Yeah,
some off the field stuff with
yeah.
the fan base and stuff.
So that's a huge get for Syracuse. And with that is pretty much all we have for you guys today. We're trying to keep these to about a half hour or so now. So far, we're doing pretty good about that. We'll be back on Wednesday, I believe, for our NFL preview. We'll talk more about the games over the weekend. Then we'll dive a little bit deeper into the Lions game because there are some things.
We'll
And
say that. Yeah.
I had somebody come up to me today and goes, "You picked against the Lions on Saturday," and I go, "Listen, the Lions have been turning the ball over nonstop the last 3 weeks. Denver scores tons of points off of turnovers. It just felt like the Lions were going to lose that game, like going
Mhm.
into it. Now, obviously, that's not what happened, and we'll talk more about that
Yeah,
on Wednesday. But
we'll talk about that. Yeah, because there's stuff I wanna add too, but I'll wait till our
yeah,
episode.
thank you guys so much for checking us out. Like I said, we're streaming this now on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. So be sure to like us on all of those. If you're not subscribed yet, we have a podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so be sure to check those out. Check out past episodes and give us ideas for some future rankings. It can be something simple like movies, like we do. If you can't tell from the jerseys behind me, and he's got a few Ducks jerseys too. So we like the Mighty Ducks, so we'll probably do sports movies rankings, and the Mighty Ducks will end up on that list for sure. We have some other rankings. Throughout the week we text each other, "Hey, how about this? How about that?" And so we do have ideas, but we always want what the listeners want too. So if you guys have anything you want us to cover, either a ranking or, "Hey, how do you feel about this or that?" Just let us know. Shoot us a message on Facebook, or shoot us an email at hardballsportstalk@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for checking today's episode out. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you on Wednesday.